you know how much I cheer every time you take off your jeans. Now you're just naked. And I'm like, woo! And then up come the sweats.
And I have some pretty dog sweats.
Oh, dude, she like Rocky Balboa, egg yolk stained, hole in the knee. Like it looks like she's training for Apollo Creed in these sweats.
Trekking heavier, traveling light. There's one thing that's right wherever I go. That's where I am.
Hey, we're good. Speed, we're rolling.
And it's this one just as a reminder.
It's that one. Yeah. I'll look into ones that aren't even looking at me. I don't care.
Don't even look into a camera.
Don't even look into the camera. Don't look into the camera. I think that's not for commercial acting. I think that's for like Martin Scorsese stuff.
Yes.
Anyway, welcome to the show. Welcome to This Week in Zoltan. Coming at you on this rainy morning with a protest outside of the building. I don't know if you knew that.
It's a big protest.
There's a protest outside of the building, and it's for the war between Israel and Hamas. But could you tell what side they were on?
I couldn't.
It was someone had a sign that said "Gaza, we hear you." So I was like, oh. But then, you never know what's on the other side of the sign, because on the other side it could say, but we don't agree. Like, we hear you, but boy, do we not agree.
We hear you, but we're not listening. There's a difference.
And the cops were setting up the barricades and stuff. And I was like, can we get... And thankfully, they only blocked one door, so the other door you could get in.
This building itself.
They're right in front of the spinny doors.
Wow.
The spinny doors that Emma never pushes into, and then she makes me do it. Do you ever do that? Is your fiance like that? Like she doesn't want to get germs, right?
Yeah, and you're there, so I'll just let you do it.
Wait, how do you get into a door if he's not there?
I'll open it with like one finger.
Oh, I'm like a elbow or forearm guy for that stuff.
Oh, yeah,
I'll just lean into it.
Yeah.
I'm not like super weird about germs, but I'm definitely like I'll avoid them when I can.
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
But she'll sacrifice a forearm if I'm there to push it through. But also another thing you do that I really love, if sometimes we'll go through the revolving door and I'll go through first and then you're not right behind me, like somehow we got separated, and I'll notice you'll use the momentum from the guy behind you who's pushing and you'll just be in there not touching any of it and you'll go bloop, 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 bloop. And I was like, and then you come out and you look at me and I'm like, you were no part of that effort.
Nope. I love the revolving doors.
Unless there's no one else in them but yourself, then you gotta push.
Screwed,
Then you just push with your forehead because foreheads don't contract germs. I don't know if you know that.
It's true.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
This isn't real human skin. This is just your skull in outer form, really.
I've never fallen asleep on a plane face first on the seat in front of me and gotten a rash more than 5 times ever. That's never happened 5 exact times in my life.
Oh man, that's a hot start to the cast. Before we get too deep, I don't want to forget talking about our one and only sponsor, the Safe Journal, safejournal.co. I always talk about the different aspects of this journal, and I was thinking about it. I always bring up the organizational aspects so you can notice patterns in your life and hopefully create positive change. But you know what else I noticed? There's pages in this journal that will help you reword and reframe your feelings. Because maybe you're like me and you're tired of just using the word anger on every page. It starts to feel redundant. I'm feeling angry today and I don't know why. So here you have a bunch of different pages. Am I right here, Emma? I'm going to flip to one of these pages and there's an emotions wheel. I should have had this thumbnailed before, but you know me. There's an emotions wheel so you can figure out how you're feeling and what you're feeling and maybe why you're feeling the way you're feeling on that feeling day. I said feelings a lot. Here we go. Look at all these core value identifiers.
That's not the one.
That's not the one, but these are big words that are useful. It's good to identify who you are as a person. I'm going to list some names. And Emma, since you know me the best in this room, you say that is not you at all, or that I would say that is you.
Okay.
All right. Open-mindedness.
I feel like this might turn into an argument, but here we go. Careful where you tread.
Open-mindedness. I'd say sometimes when you want to be, but for the most part, no.
No. Pretty stubborn, pretty stuck in my ways. Would you consider me reflective?
Too much.
I reflect too much.
Too much. You're always in your head, always daydreaming, always.
You know what? When I reflect, you know what it feels like? I don't know if you've ever watched that one. Man, who's that guy? Bruce Lee. The Bruce Lee movie where he's in the mirrors. He's in that. It's that one scene at the end of one of those big Bruce Lee movies where he's in a room. It's like a fun house, and he's trying to fight the enemy.
Oh, Enter the Dragon.
Enter the Dragon. You know that last scene in Enter the Dragon where there's like 8,000 mirrors, and he's trying to find the enemy, but he can't tell. Am I looking at the reflection of the enemy, or is that the enemy itself? That's what it feels like in my head when I reflect.
Wait, is that the dragon? Is it the you are the enemy? The
I
enemy is
am
in
the
your
enemy.
head?
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's like 8,000 mirrors reflecting. So you're right. I am too reflective. And it's because there's more than one mirror in my head. It's like a fun house in there. Some days I look into the fat mirror and I'm like, oh no, I'm fat today. And then some days I'm like, whoa, I'm feeling really good today. And then other days I'm like, oh, I'm wavy and confused. I'm going to explain that as anger.
We have a fat mirror in our house.
Oh, do you?
And it's not like on purpose. Like we have, as we leave the apartment to turn down the stairs to go leave, there's a giant full length mirror there, and it is a wide mirror. So every time I walk out of the house, I'm like, oh, fuck you. Every time I walk into the bathroom naked or in my underwear, I'm like, ugh, it's not healthy. I need to get a new
Just in
mirror.
case you were feeling confident that day.
No.
That
Yeah.
mirror makes sure.
It really is bad. And I'll look at it and I'll be like, no, that is how you look. But then I'll see Becca walk by it and I'm like, well, that's not what she looks like.
There you
so
go.
that clearly, I have to have a frame of
Yeah.
reference.
Yeah.
That'd be so funny if she has that same feeling, but if she goes, nah, that is what he looks like. So this must be what I look like. Damn it.
She hears me go, ugh. She goes, well, do some crunches. That's just what she's saying in her bed.
Oh, man. We talk about fat mirrors all the time.
All the time.
All the time. What is it? A lot of clothing stores. You're like, they got fat mirrors in there.
Yeah.
Do they have
Lighting.
skinny mirrors?
It depends on the store.
Yeah.
What store wants you to have fat mirrors?
I know. Why
That's
would they do
pretty
that?
Good.
I think, is it Zara? I think Zara has fat mirrors.
Zara has fat mirrors?
Yeah.
Is it because they're trying to make us not wear their clothes?
I don't
They
know.
want you to feel really thin.
Yeah.
They'll leave you with a conniption fit, and then next thing you know, you're bulimic, and now you're the ideal customer that they wanted all along.
It should just be all the salad restaurants have fat mirrors. Yeah. You know what? Light dressing today.
Every salad place should have fat windows. So the reflection that you feel when you walk by, it's like Funhouse fat. And you're like, good Lord, I'm not getting a bagel. I got to drill some salad immediately.
Towards the door, it just has on the mirror, says, yeah. And then an arrow.
Objects in mirror are as fat as they appear. And that's
Salads aren't as delicious as they appear. Come on in,
That's how
fatty.
they get you
Come
into
on
the
in, fatty.
That's so good.
Oh, man. What's another one? Enthusiasm. Do you think that's a core value that might be identified with yours truly?
I think so.
I can be
Yeah.
enthusiastic sometimes. Fearless.
Wait, what is he least enthusiastic about? I don't want to keep derailing here, but
No,
this
don't
this
derail.
seems like really good fodder for
It is.
He's
fun
trying to start a
slash
fight.
arguments.
Yeah.
What are you most enthusiastic? What is he most? Where do you see enthusiasm most with him?
Oh, that's a good question. I'd say just sports, any sports.
I am a
Like-
sports fan.
Didn't know that.
Well,
Yeah.
I couldn't have predicted that.
most people don't. And it's because I don't like watching sports with other people.
Sure.
Because then you hear their
That's
opinions.
a real sports fan.
Yeah, dude, I
Yeah.
can't stand other people's opinions. Like, I'm a Steelers fan. Well, first of all, I can't stand other people's opinions across the board.
Yeah.
Like-
Doesn't start and stop with sports.
No, as soon as we walked in and I saw a protest, I didn't even know what their opinion was, and I was like, ugh. Like, dude, we get it. You're
get it.
loud. You're blah, 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 blah.
First Amendment.
Yeah, Second Amendment, Third Amendment, war in a country, and that's the wrong opinion to have. Those people are taking time out of their day to fight for some people that are the voiceless. They're doing the right thing, but my initial go-to is, someone's opinion.
Ew.
Someone's opinion is flying out of their face right now when they should
Despicable.
just have headphones on and listening to someone else,
Listening to this week in Zoltan.
listening to my own podcast. But yeah, I'm really into sports. Fearless. I think I'm you're gonna say no.
Yeah, I think that one. You're very fearful.
I'm
FBR.
scared all the time. You have no idea the conniption fit I had before we left the house to go to that holiday party last night.
Really?
I didn't want to go. I wanted to go. Are we going to be early? I don't want to be there too early, but I also had a set to get to. Can we leave and come
Are
back?
other people bringing their wives?
Are other people bringing their wives?
Should I bring a dish?
Yeah. Am I supposed to bring a bottle of wine or buy a loaf of rye like at Seinfeld or something? I'm going to the dinner.
How many headshots is appropriate to sign and bring with me to the party? All these questions, no answers.
Yeah, should I bring my own frame photo and hang it on the wall? Is that how it works? Is that how they all got up there? Anyway, the Safe Journal has a bunch of these pages. There's an emotions wheel where you can figure out how you feel and put it into better words instead of just saying angry. You can find other words like furious, cantankerous, I'm about to kill everybody. That's probably a compound word. Maybe that's hyphenated, I'm going to guess. But the point is, there's a lot of tools here. So if you ever get stuck in writing, if you ever have a feeling of writer's block, this thing will get you going. Safe Journal, safejournal.co. Use Zoltan at checkout. You get 25% off and a handwritten note by yours truly. So if that's something that tickles your fancy, Safe Journal, safejournal.co, not .com, .co. That's the pitch.
Great job.
I always need affirmation. That's something you know. Mm-hmm. I need consistent affirmation. How did you actually broke me down the other day where you said, like, I'm down here, and then I'm like, blah, 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 and then I get a little affirmation,
Yeah,
and then it brings me right
video
up.
games where they have the little icon of the person, and then
With the
when
life meter?
their life meter, and their life
Yes.
runs out, and they have to, like, get energy to fill back up. Zoltan has that, but with positive affirmations. So his
okay.
affirmation meter goes down.
Yeah.
And then he either needs to go on stage, or he needs positive affirmations from me,
Yeah.
or he needs something. He needs to read his comments, feel good.
This is all true.
The only comic on earth that feeds energy from the comments. Oh, I feel better now.
I'll scroll through all the good ones to find the two bad ones, and then
Yeah.
I'll be like, well, I got to find out.
Yeah.
I have to kill this man. Yeah. Yeah.
And you're looking at a hall of mirrors.
Yes, a hall of mirrors.
Wait,
and
did
then,
I just air your dirty laundry?
please air the dirty. You saw such a good side of me. Last night we went to the holiday party at Gotham, which was amazing, by the way. Free food, free drinks. It never ran out. They kept bringing more drinks. They kept bringing more food. It was an extravaganza par excellence. Sure. And had a great time. But like I'm socially, I don't like to, I gotta get myself up to be social. You know, it's hard. Like, you don't know how, I never text anybody. People text me. Like, there's times where I'm like, oh, I'll see something on TV. Oh, my friend Dane yeah, that's something I would text him, my lifelong friend. I'll be like, ah, and then I just won't text it because I'm like, I don't want to bother anybody. And so and I feel the same way when I go to a party or a gathering. If I get into a conversation, my first thought is, how the hell do I get out of this conversation? It's not even with someone I dislike. This is with people I like.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and you came up with the idea and you're like, because you think they don't want to talk to you. Mm-hmm. And that's what it is. I assume these people don't want to talk to me. So if we end up getting in a conversation, I'm like, they're just being nice. Let me find an exit to this, situation. Wow. And then I try to, and then go stand in the corner.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like you're fearful. Is fear filled the same? Is that the same word? I think it might be there's a difference between fearful and fear filled.
I'm filled with fear.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad you came because we were going back and forth. I'm like, what if no one else brings their wives? I'll just go by myself. If I went by myself, I'd look like a mass shooter in that corner. Just sitting there, just scoping everybody, looking on my phone, plowing my face with food and drinks, and then
There's nothing I hate more than being at a comedy event without a buddy or without nobody I know.
it's so bad.
Forget it. Get me out of there. I'll walk in, walk out. I'll take 3 trains to get there, and I won't step in the door if I don't see anyone I know. I hate it.
I'll take 3 trains to get there, realize I don't know anybody, and Uber back.
Yeah, of course.
We networked so much. We grabbed a plate of food, we sat in a corner and just people watched.
Is that the new networking?
That is the new networking. I'm so bad. Like, because that is, networking is a big aspect to stand up.
It sucks.
And it's so funny because there's comedians that are really good at it, and they're usually not the best comedians sometimes. And then there's comedians that are really bad at it. And then that could go either way. They could still be horrible comedians, or they could be decent too. But it's funny. There's not a lot of middle ground. There's either people really good at it or people that can't maintain eye contact.
Yeah.
And I try so hard. To be engaged.
Well, you see the comics that are really good at network, and you just go, I can't be that.
No.
I can't because of the social part, but also like it just seems so gross.
Yeah,
the way they
I agree.
act
seems like a lot.
Yeah, they're just like at a 10 constantly. Like, man, this is the wrong business for you, pal.
Right. It is. I always feel weird anytime I give people a compliment too.
Yeah.
Because if I give someone a compliment, I usually, like 9 times out of 10, I mean it. So like if I bump into someone, because now we live in a time too where I follow people and they follow me on social media that we've never really met. And so now that I've moved here, I've run into some of these comics that we follow each other on social, but we'd never really met. And I've told them like, man, I really like your stuff on your reels. I love your stand-up. And I mean it when I say that. But because I'm new to the city, I'm like, oh, does it feel like I'm tonguing this guy's ass right now? Because really, I just mean it. I'm not looking for anything. I just mean like, oh, we follow each other. I think your stand-up's great. But just saying those words, I have one of the mirrors in my head going, what are you doing right now, you sleazy bastard?
Well, it's weird. It's weird because you don't blink when you say it, and that's what really throws people off. You got to be conscious of your eyes. Who am I? I really like your stand-up. I think your reels are incredible.
It's so true. I don't blink a lot.
Your shoulders go back for no reason.
I don't blink. It's very true. You really don't blink that much.
I have creepy eyes. I remember one time I took an acting class when I was like 21, and they were teaching commercial acting on this particular day. Actually, most of it was commercial acting. And on the first take, the teacher goes, all right, so this is commercial acting. I'm going to need more enthusiasm out of you. And then so on the second take, I did it. And then afterwards, after the second take, she goes, all right, I don't know if that was enthusiasm, but you definitely opened your eyes wider. And so apparently all I did was I did the line again louder, and I went, and then she's like, I don't know if that's going to sell a lot of My Pillows, I'll be honest with you. Or maybe it would have worked for My Pillow. But yeah, I don't know. My eyes, I have been labeled with the creepy set of peepers. I'll say that.
Sure.
Yeah, they're intense. And really, just so you know, it's it's fear-based. It's
an FBR.
FBR? What's that? A
fear-based response.
That's an acronym you came up with yesterday.
It's actually on page 4 of the Safe Journal.
Yeah, everything for me is a fear-based response because I don't know, I grew up alone, so like I'm most comfortable when no one's around.
Although that's a good fear-based response in certain situations. Imagine being like held up. You're like, give me your wallet. And you just don't blink. You're like, I don't have a wallet. They're like, this guy's going to kill me. You scare the robber.
I would love to use one of my favorite lines. Dov Davidoff? Yeah.
Love Dov Davidoff.
Yeah, he has this. I've said it on here. I've definitely said
or
it to
Dove,
you.
Actually, no, I
Dove
don't know.
or Dov?
Both work.
Whatever. He's the only guy that comes up if you Google it. So that guy. But he had that great joke where he's like, he's talking to homeless people, and like a homeless guy comes up and he says something crazy. He's like, just say something crazier back to him. It throws him off. And so some guy came up to him and he just responded like, yeah, how am I supposed to eat soup without an envelope? And the guy was like, what? And then he walked up, and I'm like, that is the craziest thing to yell back.
Yeah.
But imagine if I said it without blinking either. Like, and then I think that would stop the robbery.
How's everyone doing tonight? Just opening a show. Everyone just chairs slowly slide away.
Yeah, it's just I'm uncomfortable and I'd rather be alone. I think that's what it is, you know? Yeah.
It's fair.
Yeah. I spent a lot of my formative years, like you learned this about me. You keep a very quiet house. Mm-hmm. You grew up in a quiet home, actually it was a full house, so it must have not been that quiet. But my point on a quiet home is like, there was never a TV on. And then we've talked on this podcast before how many TVs I grew up with. Mm-hmm. And would you find out? It's because I felt abandonment, was it?
I mean, I'm just saying this based off of an Instagram reel that I watched.
This is some Instagram therapy right here.
But it said that if you were left alone a lot as a child.
Which I was.
wanting to have the TV on all the time is because of that. Like, it's just so you don't feel as alone.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
That was an NEBR. If we're making a non-educated based response.
Absolutely.
Hey, it had the hashtags mental health and
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Mental Health Appreciation Day. But no, definitely. I mean, as soon as I go to the hotel, I'd put the TV on and it just plays in the background, and then I mutter to myself. You know, that's when I'm the most.
I love TV on when I come home. When I walk home, I want the TV on. Hotel, same thing.
Yeah.
My girl, she's like, you're wasting energy. Now that we have a dog, she wants to leave the TV on all the time for the dog.
For the dog,
She has something to listen to. I was like, when I need something to listen to, I'm put out. But then now the dog needs to watch Love Island UK. Okay, I'm sorry. I love a TV on Food Network on blast every time I walk out of a hotel room. So when I walk in, feels like something's cooking.
I like it. I just like to feel like I know what's going on. It doesn't even have to be the news.
No.
It can just be First 48 or, I don't know, that's what I always put on at every hotel. And, or just anything, sports that I'm not watching. I love putting on a game that I'm not paying attention to. In the background, hockey. I don't pay attention to hockey. Put a hockey game on. What's going on over there? I don't know. Something's happening.
That's why you need a man den.
That's why, dude.
In your own space.
Once I get him, because all my noise just commandeers the house.
Uh-huh.
Like when I leave for a few hours, she feels totally in zen, totally relaxed. She's over there doing yoga. I come back, there's like candles lit. She's like in the middle of a home, like she's totally zen. And then I come back like Kramer coming through the front door. Hey! And then the energy of the house.
So true.
Like completely
You come home
gets
listening to Metallica.
Yeah. I'm like, Metallica put out new concert footage from their latest show in Saudi Arabia. We're gonna listen to Blackened right now. I don't know. I have this. I need constant amusement, I guess.
You just call our buddy when you walk in. Hey, buddy, where'd those Cuban cigars go, buddy? I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm going to do that next time I leave and you're at the house, and I'm going to slide in like Kramer.
You should have on ready on the speaker somewhere, just an applause break. Every time he comes in, just like Kramer.
And it's hard because
his affirmation meter.
Oh yeah, that's actually not a terrible idea. See, we're making away.
Fill me back to life. The other day I left because we both work from home. Like if I'm not on the road, I'm at home working, and then she works from home, like actually working. And what we realized, we're like, it's hard because we need two different work settings to work. Like I need a TV on, there's a podcast playing, and then she's like, I need quiet. Like, what's going on here? So I was like, maybe one day one of us should leave for the day. So on that day, I was like, I'm going to leave. I'm going to go work at a coffee shop. And I had to get myself prepped for this. And the first 3 coffee shops had no space. It's just, New York is filled with homeless people and people with homes that act homeless because they have to go work at a coffee shop because their roommates' Craigslist ad said you can't be home all the time. And so and they ended up living in some things. So I work from home, but my roommate won't let me stay at home all day. So I got to go work at Variety Coffee and never leave my seat.
Go to the library. Those places are free printing.
That's true. You can free print?
Free printing at New York Public Libraries. Yeah,
I didn't know
free
that.
COVID tests. They got all kinds of free stuff there. Free books. That's another part.
You can borrow the books. Can you borrow books from a library? Is that how they're known?
Having fun isn't hard when you got a library card.
I mean, that's... I love that you love that so much.
It's from Arthur.
Did we just get a new sponsor for the show?
If
the
I
New
could
York
be
Public Library.
I want to be sponsored by. Well, I'm already sponsored by a journal, but the New York Public Library, and then something like just jerky or something like something really off-brand. But yeah, I went. First 3 coffee shops taken, and then I was walking to a 4th one. And I was looking, these people had set up these bird feeders in the trees, and all these little birds.
I thought you were talking about in the coffee shop. No. It's like they are working weird in there.
It was before I made it to my 4th attempt at a coffee shop. There's all these bird feeders hanging from a tree, and I was looking at them. I was like, oh, that's pretty neat. And then sometimes the sidewalks aren't even, so the sidewalk had a lip, and I shuffle, and I tripped, like hard. like I tripped, and then I had to catch myself, so my sneaker made like a into the sidewalk. All the birds flew away, and a guy coming out of his apartment with his laundry saw the entire thing and just laughed at me.
Just had a great time.
I brightened his day, and then immediately as he left, I'm like, I should go home. Like, there's I mean, this day's over.
You're not coming back from
You're not coming back from this. And then so I called you.
You had just left too. I was like, finally, some peace and quiet.
Yeah,
and then he calls.
I'd been gone for 8 minutes, and I'm like, she's like, what? And I'm like, I saw a bird feeder, and these birds were eating, and then I tripped, and then a guy saw, and he laughed at me. And she just, because normally she laughs at me when I trip, but it's so much more embarrassing when there isn't someone you love next to you going, ha! It's so much worse when a stranger goes.
You don't even tell her you're coming home. She just starts blowing out all the candles. She's like, I guess I'll see you in 5. Sounds like you had a pretty rough day.
I really thought you were coming back home when you called me.
I was close. I was really 50-50. But thankfully, I felt a little better after talking to you. And then I went to Blank Street, which that's a chain of New York.
That is a venture capitalist.
Is it?
Yeah. That is not a real coffee shop. That is just a data center.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
They're owned by big investment firms.
It felt that way.
It was never started. It was started as a.
What are they, washing money?
No, they want your data.
Wait, what?
They just collect all your data. Yeah.
Like my latte order?
Mm-hmm. And your phone number and anything they can get.
And do what with it?
I don't know. Send me more coffee ads. I just remember they didn't have Wi-Fi. Like, it's like they didn't want me to work
They don't want
there.
you in there.
Yeah. They only had 2 tables. I sat at one of them because there's no one in there. And then I'm like, all right, you guys don't have Wi-Fi, and it looks uncomfortable here. But I forced myself to stay in that uncomfortable venture capitalist data center that is Blank Street Coffee.
You were facing your FBR.
I was facing my I was facing my fears. Is what I was doing. I've been trying to step into the scary unknown. Are you Googling Blank Street
I'm trying
Coffee?
to figure it out because now I'm starting to think that I've just been giving that place a hard time for no reason.
It's just owned by like a monk.
It started as an electric-powered cart in Williamsburg. So I guess I'll just shut up from here on out.
Wait, so everything you said
Everything I said apparently is wrong. Well, everything I've heard is wrong. I didn't just make that up. I definitely heard that. They do have huge investment from private equity, though.
Well, I'm sure to become a chain, you got to get some money.
Sure.
Or franchise.
But I lied about the beginning part. It was definitely a very small...
It's a
Just a dude in like a 3 square foot cart. I'll shut up now.
Their coffee's not my favorite.
It's not that good. I had a cappuccino, which is fine. But that's actually how misinformation spreads consistently. Like, you said it so convincingly that I was like, you know what? It did feel like a data gathering center.
I'm sure it is now, though. Like, I'm sure it's turned into that. That's probably what part of the deal was. But
I'm a data gathering center. Guess what happens when you buy a ticket from me if I set it up on Eventbrite? I have your email now. And I'm going to add it to my email list.
Should.
Because you bought a ticket. I'm gathering your data.
you should.
And I'm trying to gather more. It's not illegal. I'm just,
As long as you get their permission.
Yeah. Well, I didn't get their... I got their permission.
Cutting
in
edge
the fine
streamlined shops. That's their move.
It's in the fine print of Eventbrite. Login. We what else did we do this week? We watched the Golden Globes. Did you watch that?
I watched all the clips.
You
I
watched
didn't know
the
what was
clips?
happening until Joe Coy took a beating.
Oh yeah. Did you watch the monologue? We watched it live.
I watched clips of it. It didn't seem like he did that bad.
It was fine.
Yeah.
It was fun.
They're just going to give anyone shit for doing that.
Yeah, because no one. I don't know why any comedian would sign up to host any award show.
I'd do it right now. Are you kidding me?
You do it?
In a heartbeat.
Yeah, but you would do it with like a Ricky Gervais, like
But so
just
would you.
taking a. I don't know if I could. I would do it with a smile.
I'll tell you what. I think you'd be prepared. 10 days is enough.
I think 10 days is enough to at least make
Yeah.
fun of everybody. But that's not Joe Coy's style. Like, if
No.
you watched his stand-up,
No.
I remember I said that before we started the show. I was like, this is a tough gig because, especially after what Gervais did a few years ago with the most epic hosting job of any award show ever. And I'm like, why would any comedian want that job? Because one, you can't outdo what he did because the original is always going to be the best.
Right.
So you can't come in just mean and snarky. because it works for him because he's British and he did it to a level that was so good. You're always going to be compared to that. So even if you try that, you're just going to be like, oh, he tried to rip off Ricky Gervais from a few years ago. And then so you got Joe Coy, who isn't like that at all anyway. And then he comes out and he does like, he talks about his like mom and stuff like that. And you're like, it's just not going to work in that setting.
And nobody really knows who Joe Coy is outside of Joe Coy fans.
Yeah.
So I think he made the mistake by not like giving some context to what he was doing there.
Right.
And like, here's who I am. This is why you should know me. Make fun of himself.
Yeah.
And then make fun of people in the crowd. But he just walked out there guns blazing, and everyone's like,
what's happening?
Who is this?
I would have. It's very easy to say I would have done this and that. But I mean, if he could have had a second take at it, maybe he goes out and goes, "What am I doing here?"
Yeah, sure.
Like this is Robert De Niro right over there, and I'm. Do you have any idea how many people said no for me to get this job?
And that's the truth.
And that is the truth. Like he got it 10 days out because no one wanted to do the job because it's a hell gig. No one should there's only been a few people that have done it well. Gervais did it amazingly in a way that had never been done before. I never really remember when Ellen ordered pizza for everybody? Did you watch that one? I think she hosted the Oscars or one of the Tonys. I don't remember which one. But she did a thing where like she kept doing different things with the audience. Like she took a giant group selfie. She ordered a pizza and the pizza guy showed up with all these pizzas and they took a picture with him. I don't know. It's like a bunch of fun crap you can do because otherwise it's a stuffy corporate event is what it is. It's the most self-indulgent people on the planet in a room waiting to get more praise than they've ever got. It's a bunch of me's in there.
They all have affirmation meters.
Yeah, they all have affirmation meters. They need the trophy. And then the best is when they don't get the trophy and they have to fake clap for the other people and go, yay.
Turned down this year by Chris Rock, Ali Wong, Will Arnett, Jason Bateman, Sean Hayes, Tina Fey, Amy Poehler.
Wow.
All turned it down, and that's just a partial list.
Good Lord.
Crazy.
Was Paula Poundstone busy?
Hilarious.
Like, how did it end up all the way, And Joe Coy's a superstar. He's doing great.
Somebody suggested, what about Roseanne Barr? And he says, just kidding. They said, did you say Joe Coy? Yeah, we'll get Joe Coy.
I would never do any of that. I love that. I don't know if you saw they gave out their
want
first.
Jeff Dunham next year. Just have one of his dummies do it. Who else are you going to get? Carrot Top doing props.
I would like it if it wasn't a comedian.
Yeah.
Martin Short has hosted stuff before.
But he's a showman.
He's a showman. Yeah.
Seth MacFarlane's a showman.
It would be fun to have one of those new douchey actors out. Like that guy that was just in that movie, The Claw, who's also in the show The Bear that we haven't watched.
Yeah.
The guy, he has 3 names, Jeremy Allen Michael or something. Yeah, Jeremy Allen White.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if you watched his acceptance
Calvin Klein
speech.
ads? Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
Calvin.
no. What? Which one's right? I've done neither.
First of all, the Calvin Klein, he's perfect for Calvin Klein. He has a face. That's the face you need for.
He's got a face.
He's got a face. No, but that's the face you need for Calvin Klein ads. Kind of like, oh, did you catch me naked?
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
that's the same look on a homeless guy's face that's pissing on the subway. Is the same face that Jeremy Allen White has pulling up his dungarees over his Calvin Kleins or whatever he's doing, And it's just kind of a look like, yeah, so?
And
And
go ahead.
Oh, that was a good face right there.
That one?
it's the face of
Calvin Klein face?
It's the look of I just peed and I'm down for whatever. That's what the face is like. I have emptied my bowels. Let's party.
Let's drink.
I'm ready to drink a pitcher of it. But if you watched his acceptance speech, it's just there's so many actors that once they get on stage and they have to speak from the heart, you're like, does this guy have brain damage? Like when you hear Johnny Depp speak or this guy, they're just so meandering and mealy mouthed, and you're like, whoa, if he doesn't have lines, they're screwed.
Have you ever seen Harrison Ford have tricks done to him by David Blaine?
No.
It's a must watch. Because it's like, does this guy even speak? It's almost like he's a wind-up robot, like a toy, and then they're like, I am Indiana Jones. Like he doesn't have anything to say. He just
Do you think
just hobbling around? It's so bizarre.
Do you think actors are really good because they're stupid? Because here's my thing, like
Blank slate syndrome?
blank slate. The most important thing to be present and in the moment and clear your mind and put yourself in a state of the character. Isn't that easiest done if you're dumb? Like, if you're stupid and you don't have a fear of the camera, and if you don't have a fear of, like, what am I doing with my hand right now? Isn't being stupid a giant plus in the acting world? And that's why every time, like, they have to give a speech or something, they're just like, my something, okay. And then they just leave, and you're like, what was that? Did that guy just have a million strokes? What? That was an acceptance speech?
Yeah.
And you're like, maybe he needs lines, and then he can fill his head with lines that aren't there originally.
I think that good acting is about, like, knowing, like, stripping away all your natural instincts and, like, just being there and present. Right. So possibly.
Yeah.
Are you trying to say that we're both very smart because they don't put us in anything?
I'm First
a genius?
of all, they are very smart for never casting me in anything I've auditioned for, because I would have done a horrible job. It's my eyes. It's the more uncomfortable I get, the bigger my eyes get.
Yeah.
So every audition I've ever done is like, who's at the door? And they're like, what?
This is a robbery scene? So...
You can't put this on.
Who could it possibly be?
Who could it be?
But you'd be good in the Tim Robinson stuff. I think you should leave, because that's all very extracted acting.
Very big.
It's very big and intentionally like overdone, which I think that type of acting is perfect.
Yeah,
for.
I could do that.
Yeah,
I could do, like, if someone meets me in an uncomfortable setting, which is pretty much whenever I'm outside of my home, if that's what your character is, I could do that on a set.
Sure.
Just make sure I never get comfortable, which will be easy, because I'll be in public.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure all the scenes are outside. All right, in this scene, you're going to go to this coffee shop, and there's only one table open, and you're going to have to squeeze in, take your jacket off, and pull your laptop out, and find somewhere to plug your charger in. Go.
Let's see it. Go.
I'll be a bull in a china shop, tripping over myself, knocking over people's drinks, red-faced the entire time, sweating. After I even get set up, I'm sweating. You see a sweat go down, my pits are flowing, and I'm just counting down the minutes. I'm like, 22 minutes, that's enough time for this, right? And then I'm out of there. Dude, I am the most comfortable at home. That's why I'm naked at home. That's why I always rip my clothes off immediately, because that's where comfort is.
I think so. I love putting on sweatpants right the second I get home. I'm dressing in the doorway immediately.
I cheer.
It's pretty great.
You know how much I cheer every time you take off your jeans? Now you're just naked. And I'm like, woo! And then up come the sweats.
And I have some pretty dog shit sweats.
Oh, dude, she like Rocky Balboa, egg yolk stained, hole in the knee. Like it looks like she's training for Apollo Creed in these sweats. Like, I don't know. And she's like, they're the comfortable ones, and I'm like, I know they're comfortable, but
for who? They're not comfortable for my eyes.
But that's why I'm wearing the robe without underwear to combat your sweatpants. So I'm like, oh, you got to look at those sweatpants? Why don't you look at these stained legs? Because my naked legs look like an old pair of sweatpants. There's like fur missing. There's weird stains. You're like, that part's blue for some reason.
Why is it purple?
Why is it?
I don't know, to be honest.
The seam looks like it's worn out. Like everything's bad on these sweatpants that are my legs. And so that I like how we're doing silent battles with each other. You're like, well, I'm going to be comfortable. And then I'm like, well, I'm going to be comfortable.
I'm wearing 2 sweaters tonight.
I'm wearing 2 sweaters. Yeah, I don't know how we ended up there, but the Golden Globes, Joy Coy, bless his heart. Everyone's wrong, by the way, and all those actors are just the popular kids in high school.
I wonder how much it paid.
To host? They pay you for that?
Could you imagine doing it for free?
I always feel like the worst gigs are always free, and they say the exposure will help you. I don't know. I might be wrong.
Gerard Carmichael said he made $500,000 for the show last year.
$500,000?
Yeah.
Was he a good host?
Did you even remember he did it?
I didn't remember he did it.
No, neither did I.
I guess sometimes it's good. I guess there is a medium of like being unmemorable, but no one thinks Gerard did a bad job based on what I remember.
I don't remember any of it.
Good.
So
it's good to be kind of forgettable, but you still got the job, so you're still shining. You know, you're like a new car nobody bought.
people are talking about Joe Coy, so Is that bad?
No, maybe people watch a special and then become a fan.
Yeah,
Could
they're
be.
like,
Or double down on their original feelings. I don't know.
Yeah.
there's no such thing as bad publicity, they say.
That's what they say.
there's
I mean,
some.
yeah.
Is there?
That list of
That Epstein
Epstein's
list is not. Yeah, that's bad publicity
That's
all
pretty
around.
true.
Did you see Cameron Diaz's name was on the Epstein list?
Really?
And then the publicist her publicist made a statement saying that Cameron Diaz had no connection with Epstein, blah, 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 never met him. I don't know why her name is on this list.
Well, why don't you ask her? I bet she knows. I bet Cameron knows.
I bet, they got to figure that out. But yeah, I guess some bad press is bad press.
Yeah.
Yeah. But some good press, I don't know. What else did we do? Oh, we watched that movie with the rugby players that ate each other.
Oh, yeah.
The plane crash. You know the story. The Argentinians, no, they're Uruguayans, and they were going to go play in Chile, and they crashed in the Andes Mountains in the 70s.
It's like a long time ago. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I think
and
about
then-
recently. I was like, Jesus Christ.
No, yeah.
And then he had a cell phone.
Everybody had a cell phone. Yeah, no, this is in the 70s, and these guys survived in the mountains for 90 days.
Close
Well,
to it, yeah.
Yeah.
some of them survived.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them survived. Dude, it was... I realized after watching the movie, because like this plane crashes in the mountains, bunch of people die, bunch of people survive, and slowly the rest of them start dying. And then they run out of food, so then they start eating the dead bodies. And then while they're eating the dead bodies, one day an avalanche comes, kills some more of them, and then they have to dig out. And then some more stuff happens. And then they get a radio, and they realize after like a month, they found a radio in the luggage, and they set it up. And they heard broadcasts saying they've suspended the search until the spring because of the storm conditions they can't see. And so everyone's like, oh my God, we got to stay up here for all of winter before they come find us.
Jesus.
And I realized after that, the real victims are the people that survived. Like the luckiest people in that entire thing are the people that died on impact. Because they just crashed and died. Can you imagine surviving and then having to live through a couple avalanches, becoming a cannibal, and what else? A bunch of other stuff. Maybe someone was rude. I don't know. You also had to poo in the snow. I don't know. Some other rough. Yeah.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah. No, I'm sure they're still alive because that happened. They were in their 20s in 1970, meaning they were born in the 50s. So that means they're in their 80s, if my math is
60s,
math.
70s, yeah.
Yeah. Somewhere in there.
Society of Snow. Is
Society
that-
of Snow, yeah.
Yeah. It's a weird name for. I saw that, and none of that made me. I thought it was like about Bushmen.
No, I mean, in a way.
It was really good, though.
It was a really good movie.
Yeah.
You just can't, every time you're like, well, it can't get any worse, it does. And then it's all based on a true story. By the way, they were eating people without fire. So they were eating raw, frozen bits of human. They had like a piece of glass. They were just sawing off little bits of ears, and I don't know what they were eating. But
I don't know. I feel like that'd be I'd rather live through that.
you'd live through that
I'd like to.
than dying?
Yeah, I think so. Because 14 of them are still alive today.
Okay.
Oh, they are.
That's what it says according to the internet as of
Can
2
you,
days ago.
like, are they all vegan now?
Could you imagine?
Like, how
They
do you
just
still...
they kept a taste.
They gotta go to like some wet market or something where you can. I heard you guys sell elbow skin here. I gotta get a slice of elbow skin. I don't.
It's so traumatic.
It's incredibly traumatic, and it's just I remember when they started eating the people because they at first they're like we're out of food, and then someone brought it up. They're like there's a bunch of dead bodies out there. We could eat those, and then everyone's like no, we're not eating people, and then. They finally all got hungry enough to start eating the people. And I turned to Emma and I'm like, how embarrassing would it be if they just got rescued 5 minutes from now? And they're like, oh, we could have held out for 5 more minutes and
Yeah,
not
really.
eaten a human.
You're eating fingers. You're like, oh shit.
Or
I
if there
should've-
was like somebody who had already started eating and didn't say anything. Just
Yes.
back there gnawing on a bone.
If they see the plane coming, they'd quickly try to finish up. Sorry, this is the last chance. I mean, look, honestly, last chance I'll ever get to eat a person. Imagine the book tour, though. Like, I feel like if you survive that, okay, I'll be a speaker forever. I'll make $1 zillion. Obviously, I'm going to have tremendous amounts of guilt and
Yes.
pain and stuff. But like,
I mean, it's
Make
a
some
hell of
money.
a story to tell.
One of the guys is a cardiologist now.
Is it really?
Yeah, Roberto Canessa. He was 19 at the time.
Wow. What
Now he's
thing to
a
live through.
cardiologist and a pediatric something or other.
Good for him.
I do love the idea that what you said, where someone's already eating the people, and then the conversation comes up, like, should we start eating people? And then the one guy who's already started, he's like, oh, yeah, should we? Because I may have already started on old Miguel's cheek over there. That does. Also, what part do you eat?
Leg, right?
The
Leg?
leg's supposed to be
Leg,
the
calf.
best in every animal, right?
Because you're also eating it raw. There's no fire.
That's tough.
Or the fattiest parts.
That's pretty chewy. Have you ever had an undercooked steak?
Yeah, I like raw steak though.
Yeah, but like seared something.
No, like what do you call it?
Blue?
Blue.
Yeah.
No, what's the uncooked? They chop it up. Why is my brain not working?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. That tartar stuff.
Tartar.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that is uncooked, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a beef sushi.
But it's also,
Carpaccio.
it's also not.
Carpaccio.
It also wasn't the guy in 17C. Like that's a different. It's a cow that I've never met. Not my pal that I used to play rugby with.
I was trying to think of my friends who I'd be willing to eat. None of them. They all live dirty lives. Like that's not going to be good meat. You're like, oh yeah, this. Imagine if you're going to eat a burger and then you knew that the cow did cocaine every time it went to Vegas, and you're like, this is not going to be the best meat. It's going to be pretty rough meat, you know.
I guess you
look
kind of
just
have to
gave.
be a vegan after that, right?
Yeah.
Like it's the ultimate meat. They say that humans taste like chicken. That's what I've
Is that
Really?
true?
based on an Eddie Izzard special. He said the cannibals say that the closest thing to human flesh is chicken,
Oh, I heard
which
that.
means that chicken tastes like humans.
Huh.
What?
That's what I hear.
I heard that it's supposed to
I'm
taste bad.
I'm scared to
Like,
Google it.
like bitter.
I hope it tastes bad. It's because our diets are all over the place. We eat everything, so it can't taste good. I don't know. I guess maybe if we ate a monkey, that might be the closest.
Yeah.
Because monkeys kind of eat other things, don't they? They eat meat. They eat leaves. This is getting way deeper than I thought it was going to be.
According to the Guardian.com, if you've never had human flesh before, think of it as the texture of beef, but sweeter and a little softer.
Ooh.
Ew. This guy's over here writing this article like Hannibal Lecter. It's a little sweeter and it's a little ew. Get out of here.
And apparently the nickname for if you want to eat human is long pig. That's like the term for
That's for the
cannibals.
People that want to.
Yeah, it's called like I'm trying to get some long pig.
That's the secret menu,
That's the
secret word.
macabre term for long pig is human flesh.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's tough.
I'm going to try to say that. We're going to go have lunch at the Smith after this. And I'll be like, I'll have a slice of long pig. And then I'll I'll open my eyes and look at the server and be like,
Can I get some long pig belly? You know what I'm talking about?
I'd like it rare, please.
do you have any from the Andes Mountains? All right, we're done here.
Do you have any soccer players? Or
You know what? They were rugby players, so they're in good shape. These are like grade A beef.
this is also the 70s, though. They were all smoking for sure.
Oh, they were.
Yeah.
One of the biggest moments in the movie is because the plane broke in two, and the tail was like way over there. And so one of the days, two of them go over and they come back and they're like, we went to the tail. And the guy's like, did you find food? He goes, yeah, I found a chocolate bar, but check this out. And he comes back with like 1,000 cartons of cigarettes. And they're like, yeah. And they just start smoking these cigarettes.
Chain smoking.
Yeah, they had enough meat to last them 90 days and enough cigarettes to last them 6 months. Like they had so many
So
cigarettes.
there was food. I got to watch this movie.
There was
It's a movie, not a documentary, right?
It's a movie.
It's a movie. There's
And they-
subtitles, but
Yeah.
they're easy subtitles.
Yeah, it's easy. It's a lot of
What'd you say that to me for? Like I can't read?
Oh, because he hates subtitles, so I assumed you hate subtitles.
You're like, don't worry, you can read them. Jesus Christ.
It's because Zoltan hates them so much.
I hate subtitles
And I always
too,
have to convince him. I'm like, it's easy, don't worry.
I like subtitled movies that are disaster because it's all just a lot of my face. Like I'm like, all right, I see what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't need some like long dialogue that I got to read. You know, I'm not
me
trying
either.
to read. mice of men over here.
Netflix tricks you too. Like you'll watch a good trailer and then you put it on and it's in another language.
I hate that.
Yeah.
That is so cheap on Netflix. You'll watch a good trailer and then I'll be now I'm suspicious. When it's an actor I don't recognize and it's a bunch of actors I don't recognize, I'm like, this could be foreign. And then we start it and then they're like,
but dubbed.
Hello, it's dubbed. It's like, hello, my name is Phil. And then you're like,
I don't mind
it,
a dubbed. I don't mind a dubbed if it's a good movie. But
it'll throw me out.
I don't like subtitles because it's like I'm missing the movie.
Yes.
Like it's not because I don't want to read. It's because I want to watch.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like a beautiful movie that I'm reading now.
And it just ruins comedy.
Because I can't read apparently. Jesus.
Listen.
Tough day.
You know what? As long as you can work the ones and twos, you don't need to read.
Exactly.
You don't need to read.
How much time do we have left? Couldn't tell you. I don't know numbers either.
My hourglass is broken. I have no idea.
Oh, hold on. Let me check my sundial. All right, we're good.
That was really funny. Like, you could follow. Busting balls here today. But yeah, I get really mad at, I don't like with the movie we watched at the Iron Claw at the theaters. They just randomly subtitled that one.
Oh, I realized why that happened.
It was for the deafies?
I picked the disabled theater, that one. So.
That's why that got,
Yeah, I forgot to tell you that.
That makes sense.
What, it was subtitled?
It was subtitled. I'd never seen a subtitled movie at a theater that was in English.
Yeah.
You know, and after like a minute, I'm like, why is it subtitled?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I love subtitles.
Might be a woman thing. 'Cause
Is it?
My girlfriend loves them too.
I think it might be.
She puts them on the TV. That's all. She'll watch TV with them.
Yeah, so do I.
I hate it because it ruins comedy.
It does.
Because like the punchline will come too soon, and then I'm like, it's ruining it.
And there's no inflection.
No.
Yeah.
It's like, why can't they make smart subtitles that actually go when they're being said? Mm-hmm. And then if you make it spot on, then it won't ruin. But then I'm still looking down there instead of watching the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just laugh earlier.
Yeah, you laugh early. I don't know. Kind of ruins it all. But yeah, I think that's been an hour. Was there anything else we were trying to talk about before?
I don't know.
No. Was that it?
I don't know. This is your podcast.
I know it's my podcast, but I forget. Mike, anything to add?
This is a great time.
This is a great time.
This was. I always enjoy myself doing this podcast.
I always enjoy myself here, too. I always end up laughing. And I feel better than when I came in because I was really tired and hungover when I came in. And then now I'm still pretty tired and hungover, but I've laughed more than before I came in.
Also,
yes.
Let's wish Mike a happy birthday.
not do
He
that.
won't tell us when his birthday is,
No.
but
He's turning the big 4-0 coming up.
No,
nope.
we're fine.
He's so sad.
I was fine with it up until yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's when you had the moment of like, I'm turning 40?
Well, you look at your life. You know, it's a real good moment. And I was told not to. I was like, don't have a midlife crisis. I was like, you think I'm making it to 80? I had a midlife crisis when I was 25.
So did I.
Yeah, I'm surprised I made it past 30. Like I thought I was going to die before 30. So,
Wow, you were living that hard life, Mike.
No, I just all the men in my family have died around that
Really?
age, so I was just preparing for it.
Bad tickers?
All kinds of stuff.
Oh, just
tickers, drugs, alcohol, stepping on the wrong train line.
Whoa,
Tracks.
you guys are like the Von Erich family.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
With less less public success, I would say.
Wow. I remember my old boss, Daryl Jones, always used to say that he was going to die at 50. And then he ended up beating 50 by 10 years. I think he made it to 60. So
Yeah.
he was wrong. You know.
Thank God he died at 60.
Well, I mean, I'm just
good for
saying.
him.
I'm just saying he was wrong. So you
Yeah.
never know. Like, and then I think if you stress about it, then you're kind of wasting the time you're around.
I think Lexapro got me through the dying at 30 thing.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I stopped caring about that.
Good. Yeah. Don't
10
care
years
about
ago.
dying. As far as career success goes, it's really hard to define what career success is now because it's not the 80s back when you did a Tonight Show and you got a sitcom.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, do you have stuff on YouTube? Everybody has stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
Did it get 10 million views in an hour? Okay, maybe not. But like, but I mean, it's all kind of the same.
What are you, my fucking doctor? What, are you trying to help me here?
That's what he does to me.
It is. I'm a real advice giver.
He's a fixer.
I'm a fixer. I like to give advice, and then when people start pointing back at me, I'm like, "Whoa, this isn't about me."
No, I'm just, I can't get it, but I can give it. I
Yeah.
give sage advice, but when somebody gives it to me, I'm like, what do you stop?
Yeah.
Knock it
Do it.
off.
Ugh, you're making me uncomfortable. Stop making eye contact.
Getting out of here.
Yeah.
Blink, for Christ's sake.
I don't blink enough. I think I've had so many comments under videos going, I don't think that guy blinked for 2 minutes. I don't know what it is. But yeah,
Ooh,
you're going to.
You start your own coffee shop, Blink Street Coffee.
It's just a caricature of my bright eyes scaring the hell out of people that need caffeine. Our caffeine's good, you know?
It works. Look at my face.
My eyelids have been wired open. I guess nothing happens. What's the famous Bill Burr quote about him sleeping on a futon until he was 36?
So I don't know, but
There's
I know
some
I've heard
famous
it, yeah.
quote. Famous comedians share it all the time. Like, don't be sad where things don't work out at whatever age you're at, because you
Yeah.
never know what it's going to lead to and
Yeah.
what happens down the road. Because I get it. I mean, when I was in my 30s or 30 or 29, I don't know. There's like a time where I was not happy where my career was at. And I was like, oh, I thought I'd be doing something else at this age. And then later it kind of came in its own form. But I don't know. It was like really scary to think of at the time.
Yeah, it's just perspective. That's all it
Yes.
is. It just puts you. It just gives you. It's like the first time in your life you look back and you're like, okay, did I do it? Did I do the right stuff? Because now there's like no. It's age.
Yeah.
Like there's no like. Well, I could still like no, you can't. Like you're 40. It's
Well, I
time
mean,
to-
so you're thinking like, oh, did I make all the right decisions, like career-wise?
Yeah, it's like,
Or
I'm still young. I could figure it out. It's like, well, I mean, you could still figure it out. The second part
40's
might be
still
right.
young.
Sure.
Yeah.
But just I remember my mom's 40th birthday. I was there for it.
Yeah.
She had a home.
Oh yeah. See, but everything's different now.
Yeah.
Owning a
Yeah.
home now means you're a million. There's a comedian last night at the holiday party that was trying to sell his $400,000 apartment in Manhattan, and he couldn't get a buyer because the HOAs are $1,500 a month.
Crazy.
So it's like we just live in a different world.
Yep.
You could buy a home in like Dubuque, Iowa.
Sure.
We performed in Dubuque. I could have bought an entire 8-unit apartment complex.
You
for
own
like,
a Whataburger in Dubuque.
You can own the world in Dubuque. Dude, there's places to go own a home. It's just we happen to live in one of the most expensive cities in the entire world, so it's skewed.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, happy birthday to you.
Thanks.
And Safe Journal, safejournal.co. I'll give you a handwritten note. And cheers, everybody. I love you all. I don't, but, perhaps.
Trekking heavy or traveling light, there's one thing that's right wherever I go. That's where I am.